Today I bring you my holiday special, talking about some amazing castle and medieval builds, along with my thoughts on this new Lego book. Hi, I'm Brick to Rick. Welcome to my channel for Lego ideas, inspiration and instructions. If you're new to my channel, I cover lots of castle videos, pirate stuff and seasonal sets across the year, including instructions that are totally free, so if you want more content, please subscribe. Also check me out on Instagram, search Brick to Rick for more previews and pictures. So in the first half of this video, I'd like to show you what I got up to on holiday, and thankfully I didn't go to a beach like this. I went to Legoland Windsor to see what they've got to offer. I'm interested in going on the rides, but I'm more interested in having a look around Miniland, which has got loads of really cool designs, especially for castles, so I'll bring you the highlights. In the second half of the video, I'd like to take you through this book, How to Build Lego Houses, which I borrowed from my local library. It's full of loads of really cool ideas, especially for castle and other themes. We'll take a look at that later. So like I said, I took a trip to Legoland Windsor, which is a fantastic resort and theme park in the UK. Now every version of Legoland has its own Miniland, which is a large open area like this, full of displays of different models and attractions from all over the world. I thought it'd be really nice to bring a video displaying some of these ideas, especially from the castle theme. So here we have a gigantic Italian themed castle. I love the colour of this, but also some of the details in the bricks. Look at that detailing over that arched door there in the distance. And also look at this brick built cylindrical structure on the wall. I've never made a tower like that, maybe it's one for future projects. Next, looking at some buildings from Belgium. That one's really impressive, especially with the level of detail going on the walls. I love the brick built figures stuck on the outside, and it kind of reminds me of the recent Rivendell set. Next we go over to Holland, and I really enjoyed looking around some of these quayside shops, but the main highlight for me was looking at some of the brick built windmills. Over the next few months I intend to make a medieval version of this, so stay tuned. Finally from Holland we had an example of a waterside castle, just loving those pointy towers. Over to Scotland now, and here we have a model of Jedburgh Abbey. This is a fantastic model, which shows off some of the ruins around the outside. I love that brick built effect, especially on the tops of those walls. It looks really crumbly and weathered. I think I might use this in a future MOC, maybe for my orcs. So onto Edinburgh Castle now. You can see this is a magnificent MOC. Look at this, the detail of this is staggering, from all the different colours in the walls to the details above the doors. I really recommend you go and have a look at this one. Here we have a building at the outside of the castle, and again I really love some of these details. They've put it together really nicely, especially those brick built windows, and there's even a piper playing a tune on top of the roof. Next we move on to Caerphilly Castle, which is found in the country of Wales. I love this castle design. Look at the moat, but also look at the shape of the walls, and even bits of it which are ruined and leaning outwards. The shape and design of this model reminds me of the Battle of Helm's Deep from Lord of the Rings. Next we move on to England, and this palatial build is Windsor Castle. Just look at that structure there, it's amazing. I even took in some of the details around it, including some of the brick built royalty here in the royal box. I think this is supposed to represent the coronation, and as you can see there are hundreds of partygoers in the castle grounds. Next we move on to the City of London, and either side of the Thames there you've got London Eye facing the Houses of Parliament. Above that you've got Big Ben. Look at those details around that clock face, it's amazing. I really enjoyed looking at the Palace of Westminster, especially the roofline there, what amazing details. Now in my opinion, the best bit of walking around Miniland is taking in some of the traditional Tudor style buildings you can see on display here. I love the pattern of the black stained panels on those white walls, it's a really nice effect, I'd like to have a go at that. I'd also like to have a go at making my own version of a thatched roof. Here you can see one on top of a pub, and it's really effective the way they've managed to layer those plates to give that textured appearance. The final castle model I wanted to show you is one of Leeds Castle. It has a little bridge leading up to the outhouse and a moat all the way around the outside. It's a rather neat and tidy looking castle with lots of details around the windows and doors. I also quite like the look of those overblown battlements on the top of the roof. Outside this castle there's all the trimmings, including a full jousting tournament for the knights. There's spectators and also a tent that has a cup outside for the winning knight. Along with all that, there's also a banquet going on, and you can see some steak, some pies and some greenery there on the table. So those are my highlights from a castle perspective of Legoland Windsor Miniland, but I've barely scratched the surface on my day there. So on to my next highlight of the holiday, a book that I picked up from the library. This is the How to Build Lego Houses book, a new release from Lego. It's full of different designs and instructions, along with techniques to make your own Lego buildings, including houses, castles, cottages and more. There's plenty to read about in this book, and as it says on the front, there's more than 30 models on display. There were lots of builds in this book that interested me, but the first one that caught my eye was this really cool medieval tavern. The next one was this thatched roof cottage, a really nice rustic design. There's also a small castle build thrown in for good measure. It's not a complete build, but shows you the basic design and how to put it together properly. However, it must be said that this book does not contain any instructions as you would see in a real Lego set. It gives you more techniques and how to build the sets yourself with your own pieces and elements. It does give you some step-by-step instructions though, such as the top of this tower. It can be quite handy from time to time to get some inspiration, especially when you're building something more complex like this fortress door. There's quite a few useful pages on doors, windows and other elements to jazz up any building you make out of Lego. The final thing I wanted to show you from this book was a really cool miniature haunted house design. It's so good I might actually make it out of my own elements or part it out on Bricklink. It might appear in a future video. So what are my thoughts about this book, How to Build Lego Houses? And I'd certainly go and check it out at the library, it could be of some use. So what else did I get up to on holiday? Well, you'll be pleased to hear that I made some Lego. Whilst I was at Legoland Windsor, I picked up loads of inspiration from going on the Haunted House ride. The Haunted House Monster Party ride has given me the inspiration to build my biggest MOC ever. This includes some of the characters hanging around outside, including the zombie bride there on the right. This enormous construction at Legoland is meant to mimic the Monster Fighter's haunted house. It's full of creepy features inside, including some spooky drawings and creepy crawlies running up the walls. There's also some Halloween figures inside, including this zombie girl who's directing you onto the ride itself. Now I'm not going to spoil a surprise for you, but effectively you're invited into the party room to have a banquet with Lord Vampire. This is what the room looks like once the ride is over. All in all, a really cool experience, and like I said, this has really fueled the fire for my Halloween videos coming up this autumn. I've got some amazing things coming, especially some free instructions, so stay tuned and subscribe if you want more content. See you soon.